Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. I can't believe it. Nez is asleep in the basket. She's so cute and she hasn't been in a video for ages. Like every episode, it's going to be fun but also concerning. And I hope you guys have a great time. The first one. Am I the a-hole for getting my niece the wrong phone? Long story short, my niece is 15 and has an old iPhone SE 3rd generation with a cracked screen and a bad battery life. I had some Apple gift cards left over, so I decided to get her a brand new iPhone 16, 256 gigabytes in pink. As soon as she opened it, she said, "Oh, it's not a Pro," and is now asking me to return it to get her a Pro, which is more expensive. I told her that if she wants another phone, she can return it or sell it and then pay the difference herself. Both the parents are upset with me for not asking her or clearing it with them beforehand. Am I the a-hole? I would think that's a great upgrade, but maybe I'm out of the loop for what the proper phone for a teenager is. What they say, iPhone 16 like the normal one? That's the phone that I have, and I love it. Nez loves a little chin scratch. So cute. The top comment says, not the a-hole. Did she even say thank you? And OP said, eventually yes, but that not being the immediate reaction put me off a bit. The second top comment says, I'm 16 and I'm using a cracked iPhone 11 from when it was new. I told my parents that as long as it functions, why waste money on a new phone? If somebody gave me the 16 in pink, I'd actually scream and cry from gratitude. She's a brat. Not the a-hole, but her parents sure are for co-signing this I would have immediately taken it back. Yeah, so pretty much all the top comments are not the a-hole. This comment says everybody sucks here. Yeah, she should be more grateful, but skipping the parents puts you in a-hole territory. Did it occur to you that maybe she has an old damaged phone because they had conditions on getting a new one? Or they were planning an upgrade for her birthday? Or that they would have ponied up the difference to get the Pro? The point is, you got an expensive gift for a kid without discussing it with her parents, creating a situation that they could have known was coming and were trying to avoid. Now that's gone sideways. Work it out with her parents and next time talk to them first. And the response to that says, agreed. A soft you the a-hole for you, but a big one for them. When it comes to big gifts like phones or anything involving travel, it's a good idea to run it by the parents to make sure they're okay with the child having it. Then maybe they would have said, no, it has to be a max, and then you could save the trouble of returning or reselling. Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, pretty much not the a-hole consensus. The comments that are saying everybody sucks here are saying that OP's a little bit the a-hole because they didn't ask the parents first, but the niece's reaction is a lot worse. One of the top comments says, your niece is so rude. Possibly because she was not well brought up. Gifts should be accepted politely, whatever they are. And yours was so generous. Even people rude enough to reject a gift should know better than to demand a more expensive one. Yeah, you would have been justified in just taking the gift back and not replacing it. She doesn't want it, and you aren't obliged to give her anything. It probably would have been better if you had asked her parents in advance about such a big gift, partly because she's only 15 and sometimes gifts are inappropriate, and partly because her parents might already be planning to replace her phone. If her parents are the type to try to persuade you to give her a more expensive phone, not to give her the gift cards that she or they can then supplement to pay for a more expensive phone, they're as rude as she is. Yeah, definitely not the a-hole consensus. A lot of comments are saying that OP should have ran it by the parents first. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Post number 2. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that she can't live with us anymore after she called CPS on me as a joke? Oh god, okay. I, 30 female, need to know if I'm being too harsh here, because my family is completely divided. My younger sister, 26 female, moved in with my husband, 32 male, and me about 4 months ago after she lost her job. We have a toddler and a baby, so it's been pretty hectic, but we wanted to help her get back on her feet. She was supposed to stay for 2 months max while job hunting. Here's where it gets messy. Last week I asked her to watch the kids for an hour while I ran to the pharmacy. When I got back, she was on her phone while my toddler had gotten into the pantry and made a huge mess with flour everywhere. I'll admit I lost my temper and I told her she needs to actually watch them when she agrees to babysit. She got defensive and said that I was being ungrateful for free childcare. Reminder, she lives here rent-free. We argued and I told her that if she can't do the bare minimum to help out, she needs to start looking for her own place. 2 days later, CPS showed up at my door. The worker said they received a report that I was overwhelmed and potentially neglecting my children. I was mortified. After they left, finding nothing wrong, obviously, my sister started laughing and said that she called them to teach me a lesson about being ungrateful and that it was just a prank. I told her to pack her stuff and get out. Now, she's been staying with our parents who are furious with me. They say that she made a stupid mistake, but she's family and I'm overreacting. You are not overreacting. They keep on saying that she was just stressed out about being unemployed and lashed out. My mum even said that I'm ruining her life over a joke gone wrong. My husband backs me 100% good and says that what she did was unforgivable. unbelievable. But now half of my extended family isn't speaking to me, and my mum calls daily crying about how I'm tearing the family apart. My aunt even posted on Facebook about how some people forget where they came from. Clearly about me. Oh my god. But the thing is, I keep second guessing myself. She is my sister, and she's never done anything like this before, but I can't get over the fact that she weaponized CPS against me. That's not a joke. That could have had serious consequences for my family. Yeah, of course. Am I the a-hole for kicking her out and refusing to let her come back? Edit, since people are asking, yes, the CPS worker confirmed that somebody called in a report. No, I don't have any proof that it was my sister, beyond her admission. And yeah, I realise now that I should have recorded her confession, but I was too shocked in the moment. This is so awful. How are you being blamed for this? The top comment says not the a-hole. You're on a list now. If she calls them again, they might not be so forgiving. She's a spoiled brat and she had no right. Your parents can keep her if they're so concerned. Your children and spouse are your top priorities. The response to that one says false reporting to CPS can be a crime. My state has fines, jail time, and possibly felony charges. OP needs to look into this. Sis doesn't have to know OP knows anything. Sis can think it's because there's nothing to support her claim. Sister will be the one with the file. Yeah, like the top comment said, a spoilt brat. And oh, I wonder where that attitude came from. The parents are doing an awful job. The parents are furious with OP, saying that OP's ruining her life over a joke. And the mum calls OP daily crying about how they're tearing the family apart. That's so unbelievably infuriating that they're blaming OP. Did the sister ever apologize? Does the sister feel like they did anything wrong? Or are they still just saying that it's a prank? This comment says, not the a-hole. I'm a nanny and I've seen a family have CPS called on them for something fake because I was in their house every day. And it can destroy a family, even if it wasn't meant to. I feel like the parents need to see this post. It says there, my husband backs me 100% and says what she did was unforgivable. Yeah, I feel like it's unforgivable. It's bloody terrible. And OP's the one to blame? Is this rage bait? Also, have you guys noticed how much stuff on the subreddit isn't real? But yeah, definitely not the a-hole. The next one, would I be the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law to get out of my home? I, 28 female, got married 3 years ago, 30 male. Before I got married, I owned a house, a decently sized home, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathrooms, and an in-law suite with 1 bed and 1 bath in the backyard. I have no kids of my own. My husband didn't have any kids either. I was kicked out of my home at 16 due to my mother not liking my existence, I suppose. I've had a job since I was 14, and I saved vigorously to build my home. I lucked out and ended up with an inheritance as well from my late grandfather. A piece of land approximately 10 acres, as well as 600 grand. With my savings and inheritance, I built my dream home. I had it built by the age of 22. Then fast forward to when I got married, my husband loved the house. It's whimsical, colourful, happy, bright, and a mixture of cottagecore and the Hobbit vibes, with a touch of dark academia. I love painting and I've added a ton of details everywhere, like a small fox family painted on one of the walls, or flowers around entryways. I made it a happy place for myself and my husband loved it. My husband and I moved in together and combined we have 4 cats. Now to the issue. My mother-in-law lost her husband about a year ago, and we offered her the in-law suite due to her overwhelming debt. She accepted and moved in. All was fine until recently. My husband and I were on vacation. We hired a pet sitter and were supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. The pet sitter is a trusted friend of mine. We work at the same office and she's amazing. About 4 days into our vacation, she called me panicking. My mother-in-law hired painters to come into my home and paint the entire house. No, what? My friend, the cat sitter, had come in the morning, fed and watered the cats, played with them, and then went to work about an hour after. 8 hours later, when she was off work, she came back, and my living room, front hall, office, and kitchen were all painted. My friend found 3 cats locked in the connected garage and cannot find the 4th. Oh my god, if one of those cats are gone, off with your head, mother-in-law. My garage has no air conditioning, and it's at least 80 Fahrenheit in my state at the moment. My husband's livid, as am I. We're still currently on vacation and haven't brought it up to mother-in-law yet. My husband said that we should evict her for this, as it's a huge boundary cross. Yeah, of course. Do you know that your other cat's safe? Like, she shouldn't even be in the house. She's supposed to be in the suite and she knows this. It's been discussed. She has made comments calling my home childish and immature, but never mentioned painting it. I want to cut my vacation short and deal with this, but I'm worried that I might be overreacting. How would you be overreacting? I'm not good with social dynamics or interaction, so I'm struggling to understand whether or not I'm going too far. Reddit, am I overreacting or is this as messed up as it feels? Is your cat safe? Update: husband called his brothers and uncles. They're headed to our home together to leave. It's only been an hour since I posted this, so it's not a huge update. But I have contacted an attorney and he said I 100% have legal grounds to sue for breaking and entering, vandalism, and to sue her for the paint cost, also the emotional damages, and to put a trespass on her. Hubby and I booked a flight for Saturday to head home and I'll be home Sunday morning and I'll update then. Second update: both my and my husband's credit cards are empty. Between both of us we had $10,000 in available credit that we had set aside for emergencies. Hubby called mother-in-law and asked her what the hell's going on, and she had the audacity to reply by saying, "I raised you so you owed me the money." What? I'm baffled, beyond confused. My husband's brothers and uncles have contacted the police. She's refusing to leave the suite and has locked herself inside. Police are saying it's a civil matter and would have to serve her with an eviction notice to get her out due to her refusing to leave. One of my brother-in-laws has found my cat under the garden shed and he's safe. Good. Thank goodness. Post got removed due to me using ChatGPT to help me with my writing. I fixed it though, thank you for the help, mods. I'll give the final update in a few days after we get home and everything's settled. Okay, so never, ever speak to your mother-in-law ever again. This is beyond unforgivable. And what, she stole your credit cards? I'm so happy that OP spoke to an attorney where it said, I've got legal grounds to sue for breaking and entering, vandalism, and to sue her for the paint cost and emotional damages, and to put a trespass on her. Sue her, OP, and never speak to her again. Does she feel like she'll get away with this? And also disrupting the life of the cats. They couldn't even find one of their cats. Luckily, cats are smart and the cat was fine. But what if it wasn't? I'm so happy that Nez is asleep and she can't hear this. Yeah, please don't underreact here, OP. Don't be worried about evicting her. Evict her from your life. The credit card part, the part about the cats, but also your house is your happy place. And by the sounds of it, OP's made their own house into what they love, and she comes in and ruins it. I hope this one's not real. This comment says you're underreacting. Why are you hesitant to kick out somebody that you took in and helped, that basically lost, the nicest possible explanation, one of your cats while putting the other 3 in real danger of heat stroke? Yeah. Somebody who waited until you were going to change your house without your permission, costing you how much money? None of this is anywhere near okay behaviour, and of course you should be kicking them out. The comment above that, not the a-hole, evict her and take her to court for the damages. Go no contact and have a great life. 100%. This comment says the cat thing is something that I could never get over. I'd cut her off forever for that. Yeah, for sure. And the cat part is only one aspect of this. There are like 5 other reasons to cut her off. One of the top comments says this is absolutely as messed up as it feels. She broke in and vandalized your property. And yes, it is vandalism. Not the a-hole at all if you evict her. If she breaks these kind of boundaries now, she'll smash them all once there are grandkids involved. And the response to that says she also robbed them of money. OP can get that reversed, but they should charge her. Lady deserves jail. The next one. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after finding out only our side of the family were having to pay to attend? So my younger sister Katie, 28 female, and her partner Chris, 29 male, are getting married in April in Dubai. She's always wanted an extravagant wedding and is going all out on this. So the wedding is happening over 4 days. There's 70 guests, but they want us, me, my husband and parents, to stay in the hotel with them along with her bridesmaids, which I am maid of honor, and groomsmen. The hotel is pretty luxurious, so with the flights it's costing us over £2,900 each. Chris's family are also staying in the hotel, which includes his parents, 2 brothers and his nephew, and they're well off. I don't know exactly how much they earn combined, but I know Katie is on about $88,000 and she's the lower earner. But about 6 months ago, Chris and Katie came to us and asked to borrow $17,000 more. They stressed that it would be a loan paid over time and said the venue had increased the price and Dubai law was different, blah blah blah. They paid this money or they lost the lot. We believed them and I offered to loan $7,000 and my parents the other $10,000. So long story short, I've since found out through somebody else that the $17,000 wasn't for the venue. It was for Chris's family to fly over there. They saw how much it was going to be, didn't want to pay, and they refused to go. I asked Katie and she confirmed. So my first question was, if they were paying for his parents, why not pay for ours? I would never expect them to pay for me, even if we couldn't afford it. I would have wished them well and stayed at home. And her answer was, because they can afford it. She got very defensive and said that it was the fairest way that she could think of doing it, and it's hard enough planning a wedding, but when I asked if you genuinely thought this was the fairest way to do it, why did you lie about what the 17 grand was for and say that it was for a venue issue? And she couldn't answer. My parents are aware and they're very disappointed that they lied, but have said that they're still not attending, but I have backed out. To me, it feels like my parents are being taken advantage of, and if they couldn't afford to pay for both our and Chris's parents and his brothers and nephew, then they shouldn't have just paid for the 4 parents or nobody at all. And they especially shouldn't have lied about it. Katie and Chris kept on calling me and asking me to attend, saying that I'm making them feel bad and ruining their day. But the whole thing feels so icky to me. I'm genuinely an open book, so be brutal. Am I being an a-hole here? Should I suck it up and go? Edit. Crumbs, that's a lot of comments, haha. Thank you so much, everybody. I wanted to answer a couple of questions and comments that have come up a lot. Number 1, the repayment. My husband's brother is a solicitor, and he kindly drew up a contract and repayment plan for both myself and my parents, so that the money will be paid off within 12 months of the wedding. If they don't stick to this, I have access to a free solicitor, haha. I hope it wouldn't come to that, but that's why I have the papers for worst case. Number 2, asking for the $7,000 back. I might be a soft touch, but asking for that back does feel like a step too far. Like, I'm mad as hell, but not enough to actively try to ruin their wedding a few weeks before it, which it does feel like, right now at least, is what that would be doing. But hey, give me a few more days to stew. Edit number 2, thank you again for all the feedback, everybody. Just another quick FYI, a few people have asked about Chris's family, or seem to have the impression that they're well off. I'm obviously not privy to their financial situation, but the limited account that I do know from what Katie has said, Chris and his family grew up very poor. Before all of this, I'd always thought that Chris was a lovely guy, but I'd caught him in the odd but harmless white lie. Things like where he went to school, the type of house he grew up in. I get the impression that he's embarrassed or resentful of his upbringing, given their lack of money, and this is how he now values his own self-worth, by how much money he has. My guess is when his family said they couldn't go, he panicked and worried that people would ask why they weren't there, and he would either have to say that they couldn't afford it, or he couldn't afford to pay for them. And look, his past trauma and experience is not for me to judge, but if that were the case, it makes me even more mad that they didn't plan ahead, and talk to friends and family about what they could afford before booking Dubai. If it was such a deal breaker for his family to be there, they should have factored in the cost of paying for all parents to attend, instead of thrusting a $3 grand per person bill at them and expecting them to rock up. Update. So in short, I did not end up going to the wedding. Katie and Chris basically harassed me constantly until a few days before they were due to fly out, when I received a belligerent voicemail from Katie saying that if I didn't go, I wasn't her sister anymore. I was embarrassing myself and her and Chris. I was a horrible person. And most shockingly, if I didn't go, then her and Chris wouldn't be paying me or my parents back for the money that we loaned. So trying to blackmail me. She would say that it was a gift and that I faked the contract and I'd have to take her to court. She was clearly drunk at the time. The voicemail was left on the night that she was having her at-home hen do, which I also obviously didn't attend. But it was so beyond anything I thought she was even capable of. I ended up sharing it with my parents and they also reluctantly pulled out of attending. I heard through friends and family in attendance at the wedding, after her and Chris were telling everybody that I'd alienated her from her family and told lies to our parents, we gifted money and expected them to pay us, and they made the decision to uninvite myself and my husband. Other more insulting things were said that I don't particularly want to go into. Suffice to say, they were very hurtful. As I mentioned in my post, I had my brother-in-law, a solicitor, draw up a contract for repayment for both myself and my parents. What was supposed to be the first repayment date passed without a word from either of them, so brother-in-law picked up from there. His attempts to reg them were ignored, apart from one email that I think was a fake law firm, outlining the money was gifted, and that the contract was fraudulent, and that we had to take them to court. In response to that, brother-in-law sent a copy of the voicemail Katie left, and a final demand outlining the payment plan was now null and void, and we wanted the money in full within 30 days. Or we would indeed be going to court. Magically, the full amount appeared in our accounts 5 days later. Again, I've heard on the grapevine since the wedding that they've been telling anybody who'll listen that we asked for our gift back out of the blue and disown them, and how much of a difficult financial position they're in because of this. So that's that. I can't see myself having a relationship with her after this, which is so devastating, but at the same time, I truly believe now after everything that it's not my fault. Thank you again to everybody who gave advice. I hope this update is enough for everybody who asked me for one. The top comment says I'm a petty person. I'd upload her message to all social media sites and I'd tag her in them so that people can hear in her own words how she was gonna lie about all of that. You were not the a-hole then, and you're still not the a-hole. And OP said everybody who's let me know what they've said has had my back and called her out on her lies, without me needing to fill them in on the situation. She's doing enough damage on her own. At this point, I think the best thing I can do is let her dig her own grave. and stay silent. Yeah, for sure, OP. The next one. I need help. My mother-in-law asked if I'm okay paying for dinner for 8 people. My mother-in-law texted me a few weeks ago to invite some of my husband's friends to a surprise birthday dinner. She gave me a list of people to invite and asked to call them and make the reservation. So I did, happily. She first asked me if I wanted to split renting a luxury car for the day, which would be $1,300. I told her I couldn't afford that, especially as we have our own birthday plans made. We're going away for the weekend. I'm not rich by any means. It's a few days before our reservation, and she randomly texted me asking if I'm going to need help paying for dinner for everybody. Is this normal? I can't afford this. What the hell do I say to that? I feel so uncomfortable. Am I the a-hole if I tell her everybody can pay for themselves? Edit, I told her I wasn't able to do that, and now father-in-law has called hubby to say, we thought you were in a good enough place to pay for everyone. They're now cancelling the dinner and making hubby feel like the bad guy for not fronting the bill for 8 people to dine at a fancy restaurant for his birthday. What? The top comment says she planned it. She pays or you cancel. The second top comment, no, I can't afford that. If that's the expectation, then I won't be attending the dinner at all. Not the a-hole. Opie's got a comment that says, my husband said that he's been dealing with stuff like this for a long time. We've been together 3+ years, but this was the first time that she tried to pull anything like this off on me. Husband is not happy. And OP has this comment. She's trying to tell my husband that she never expected me to pay, basically saying that I'm lying when I literally have a text from her asking if I need help paying for everybody's dinner. They've now cancelled the dinner because I said that I couldn't pay. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. If she wants to throw a surprise party for your husband, she's welcome to, but she doesn't get to volunteer you that you're paying for it. Have a dinner without your mother-in-law. But also it said, we have our own birthday plans. We're going away for the weekend. Yeah, well, that'll be fun. But yeah, the fact that she cancelled the whole dinner, like, hey, it's for your son's birthday. Yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus. The next one, am I the a-hole for walking out of my parents' anniversary party when my brother announced his engagement to my ex? I just discovered my brother 29 has been seeing my college ex-girlfriend 32 over the past year. We broke up 8 years ago and we'd been going out 4 years prior to the split, but we actually knew each other very seriously when we'd been together. I challenged him when I discovered this, and he said that he didn't say anything to me because he didn't want me to get angry with him. Last weekend we celebrated my parents' 40th anniversary celebration. My brother brought her to the party as his guest without letting me know beforehand. Her arrival with my brother left me so shocked. Since we broke up, I haven't laid eyes on her since. During the meal, they declared their engagement, and my mum began crying tears of joy. I couldn't take it and I left. My brother trailed behind me and we got into a big fight. I told him that he should have warned me at the very least. He said I was being self-centered and spoiling our parents' party. Wow. That evening, my dad phoned me telling me that I humiliated the family by leaving. I don't have romantic feelings towards my ex anymore, but the surprise reveal and the secrecy at my parents' celebration feels so thoughtless. Am I the a-hole? The top comment says not the a-hole. Reverse for any of them, they would feel the same. They would all feel the same. It's weird enough that your brother pursued your ex. Even worse, he'd keep the relationship a secret and then drop a huge bomb in front of a lot of people like that. If I had a friend date an ex of mine, I'd expect it to be made known and treated with the nuance the situation deserves. So obviously for a sibling, that's the literal least he could have done. I'm also guessing that in this situation, your parents must have known about the relationship and hid it from you as well. It sounds like they were just excited about getting a daughter-in-law and totally disregarded how uncomfortable it would be for you. I don't think walking out was rude. Sure, maybe you could have told your parents that you wanted to head home or something, but I think that's a pretty adult response to that situation. Many people would have blown up on the spot. Way to go for standing up for yourself. Yeah, and this comment says, seems you come from a family of ass hats. And the comment below that, not the a-hole. It's rich that he calls you self-centered, but he makes an announcement making himself the center of attention at a party celebrating your parents. Yeah, that's enough for today. What an unbelievable episode. I hope you had a good time today, everybody. Let me know in the comments what you thought. We need to read something wholesome. I'll tuck it out from digging. Oh, that's so cute. Like, you know what? I'm gonna sleep. So cute. And this one too. A random guy leans over and whispers while we're getting food, I have a hedgehog in my pocket. Don't tell anyone. Oh, that's also so cute. I wish I had a hedgehog in my pocket. The comment of the day goes to Squish de Fish, Vincey and Pizza at Work. Heck yeah. That is so awesome. That's a very good combination. But yeah, thank you for the support and thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate the support, everybody. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every other day. Bye.